So, a while back I made this video. It was about the state of the Sonic franchise at the time and how discussion in the Sonic franchise had gotten a little bit annoying. It was a mix of toxic positivity and toxic negativity that made the whole fanbase a perfect stream of toxicity. Since then, a lot has changed, and my content has gotten at least a little bit more watchable. Sonic the Hedgehog is now in a lot better of a place than he was when Sonic Frontiers was first being teased. Despite my negative connotations towards the game, it was a success and proved to revitalize Sonic in the public image. And now, as we lead into the next game in the series, Sonic X Shadow Generations, a lot of the same issues have risen up in the build-up to its release. The big thing surrounding Sonic Frontiers at launch was the criticism and the response to it. There was a lot of criticism of Sonic Frontiers before its launch from older fans of the series who didn't like its direction. In response to this criticism, there was a lot of excuses like it's an early build, they're not finished yet, wait for the full release, you've only seen a little bit of the game. And when stuff like the Titan fights were revealed, the narrative became to praise Sonic Frontiers because it was going back to a Sonic that we once missed. Without realizing the complaints were not targeted towards that, the complaints were targeted towards fundamental issues with the game. And so criticism of Sonic Frontiers became shifted into wanting the franchise to fail. But fast forwarding to today, why am I making a follow-up to this video? What has happened in the time since then? And why are these issues arising again? But before we get into that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out. Following the trailers for Sonic X Shadow Generations, a friend of mine, Matt Has No Cuts, made some pretty critical comments about it, and that he's not really excited for the game and thinks that some of it looks like Sonic Forces again. In his videos and multiple statements, he clearly details that the things that he thinks looks like Sonic Forces isn't the actual game itself, meaning the visuals and cutscenes around it, but it's the level design. And after the first trailer, he was obviously getting the complaints of, it's just the first trailer, we haven't seen enough of the levels to make a full judgment yet. Which, to be fair, might have been true since we really didn't get much in that first trailer, but now that we've gotten a lot more of the gameplay and his complaints haven't abated, there's really nothing to that anymore. So instead, it's sort of become a repeat of the build-up cycle to Sonic Frontiers, where Matt is now being criticized for, well, having some genuine issues with the game and what's been showcased so far. So after we received the trailer at Summer Game Fest, Matt made this tweet. And while I personally disagree with what he's saying here, I don't really care. He can dislike the game if he wants, he can be disappointed with what he's seen. But apparently a lot of people just don't think that's the case. They don't want him to be disappointed in it, they think he can't be disappointed in it. With responses ranging that were just disagreeing with him or even just straight up calling his opinion wrong, acting like it's a straight up fact that this game is going to be good. Not everyone has had their trust rebuilt in Sega after years of releasing nothing but really bad or mediocre games. One thing that I just personally find annoying is the feeling of disbelief that someone can just not enjoy a new Sonic product, think that it doesn't look good. It's just straight up like you're not allowed to have a negative opinion. And I would understand it if Matt was critiquing something that was just wrong entirely, but instead he's just critiquing the level design. He doesn't think it looks very good, which is a subjective take that people are trying to turn into an objective opinion. Now, back before Frontiers released, it was important to recognize that there was another side to this. It was toxicity after all, not just toxic positivity or toxic negativity. And there was a fair share of toxic negativity, people harassing others for just looking forward to the game. But now it feels like that side has kind of just completely vanished. Obviously there are still people who just harass people who are excited, which sucks, but for the most part it's just this stream of toxic positivity. It's hard to say what caused this change, but I believe it was just because Sonic Frontiers ended up being successful. It was easy enough for people to forget the build-up to release just because they really enjoyed the game, which in turn solidifies their feelings that they were excited for the game beforehand and they were right about it being good, which again in turn solidified the cycle of toxic positivity. Now it's worth noting that obviously not every Sonic fan that's excited for Sonic X Shadow Generations does this. This is still a minority after all, but it's a very vocal one. And I don't know, personally it just feels disheartening to see so many people unable to accept that Matt has a negative opinion towards a new Sonic product. It seems like a lot of people just care way too much about what Sonic YouTubers say. But aside from that, it's important to talk about the thing that's been going on right now, and that's just that everyone who has a negative opinion towards a new Sonic product is labeled as a Sonic doomer and wanting the franchise to fail. I think what people are failing to recognize is that a lot of criticism is directed towards a want of the franchise to succeed. After all, criticism in general is just meant to help with improvement. A common response to Matt criticizing the game's level design was to bring up the cutscenes and visuals of the game, and yeah, they look good. This game looks great visually, but the thing is that's not what he's criticizing. You're just ignoring what he's trying to say. The same thing happened with Frontiers. The open zone and Titan fights were leading people to ignore that genuine criticism towards cyberspace, controls, and other elements of the open zone. Just because Sonic is cool again doesn't mean I'm going to overlook the pathetic open world level design. And no, just because I'm bringing this up doesn't mean I'm ignoring the good qualities of the game, wherever there are any. I've been criticized a lot for my negative opinions towards Sonic Frontiers, but it's not like I haven't given the game praise before. I enjoyed the soundtrack of the game a lot, and I think the Titan fights could be pretty cool. You should have seen me the first time I had to finish the Night QTE. That was amazing. What I'm trying to say is a lot of this criticism comes from a place of love for the franchise. That love may not exist as of recent, but a lot of the older games really speak out to us, and we enjoy them. It's not like we hate the franchise and wanted to fail, we just wanted to return to what it was before. In fact, a lot of said criticism has already helped out. The hub world in Sonic X Shadow Generations looks a lot better than the open worlds of Sonic Frontiers, and it looks like they're starting to build in a lot of the open world level design around actual structures this time. Along with that, they even added NPCs to the hub world, so it's clear that they're taking in criticism into consideration, so we just stop harassing people that are trying to give genuine criticisms. That obviously isn't to say every criticism is genuine. You can still call out people that are just saying things that are blatantly false. But it's kind of clear that that line is just not being looked at right now. But as I said in my video before, this is still a two-sided problem. Toxicity in the Sonic fanbase is still very much so present on both sides. And while I think toxic positivity has gotten a lot more annoying in recent times, toxic negativity is definitely still here. You can have genuine criticisms of a product that you're not looking forward to, but also don't be disrespectful of people who are genuinely enjoying it. Just as we shouldn't be baffled towards people who aren't looking forward to a product, we shouldn't be surprised that people are looking forward to that product. Everyone is allowed to have an opinion, which unfortunately is becoming more of a hot take day by day. I still do really like Sonic, and I enjoy making content about Sonic, but it's kind of gone to a point where I just don't enjoy discussing about it online. Respectful discussion and hearing each other's side out is one of the most enjoyable things you can do about a franchise. You get to hear out someone else's perspective and see how they might affect your own. But at this point, it just feels like I'm talking to a brick wall at certain points. And a lot of people I know have just stopped talking on Sonic Twitter entirely, which is totally understandable considering the climate. We shouldn't be discouraged from talking about one of our favorite franchises just because we don't have the most positive opinion about a newer product. But expecting any change in this is sort of pointless. For now, I'm just content to look forward to Sonic X Shadow Generations because I really do think that game is going to be enjoyable. And I've actually talked to Matt about this. We've given our opinions about the game and we had a good talk about it. I was able to see and even agree with a lot of his criticisms, small things about the animation and level design. But it sucks that the mob of toxic positivity makes it kind of impossible for Matt to state this opinion in public. And in general, I just want to thank Matt for being a huge help for me when I was starting up this channel. He's a great guy, so go over to his channel and give him a sub. Not that he needs my help though, but that's really all I have to say about this. I want to use my platform to try and encourage more thoughtful discussion about Sonic the Hedgehog. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here. We like this franchise. So let's try and make it seem like it. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, just go check out some of my recent stuff. I'm going to be away for a while, so I won't be uploading as much in these next few weeks. That said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and that's it from me, Deveron, signing off.